Greetings, everyone. I'm George Sajewych, and this is StopFake, a program about propaganda and manipulation in the media. We expose the actions of those who have turned Russia's mass media into factories, literally producing lies and hate. One of the most resonant news items from the past week was the decision of the appeals court in the Netherlands ordering the return to Ukraine of the Scythian gold, the name given to the exquisitely crafted artifacts of the Scythian era, borrowed from Crimean museums and put on display in Amsterdam in early 2014. A torrent of dirt followed from the screens of Russian federal TV channels onto Ukraine, the Netherlands, and the collective West. Like they all conspired to hand these treasures over to Ukraine with only one purpose in mind: to stick it to sweet Mother Russia. And the investigative committee of the Russian Federation even opened a criminal case in the matter, vowing to uncover who forced the Dutch judges to deliver such a decision. A pack of Kremlin experts unanimously labeled the ordered transfer of the Scythian gold to Ukraine the theft of the century. Russian TV presenter Yevgeny Popov, shocked by the court's decision, called the judges hypocrites and threatened Ukraine. Bandera is our father, Ukraine is our mother. Here he's citing the opening line of a song made popular these days by Ukrainian teenagers, and continues, and Grandpa is a Scythian. Is that it? It is, of course, a pity that Russia has temporarily lost its collection. It was simply stolen by the most hypocritical Europeans. But the gold will return, and together with Ukraine at that. The propagandists dusted off all the traitors they could, former Crimean officials who had gone over to the side of the Russian occupiers. The curator of the exhibition, Valentina Mordvintseva, and former prosecutor Natalia Poklonska argued that the Dutch court's decision was illegal and made under pressure. The court was placed in very difficult circumstances, given the pressure that was being exerted. Crimean museums will fight to the last. The decision of the Amsterdam court is not a court decision, but some kind of political act that is far from the concepts of justice, objectivity, legality, and judicial impartiality. And the head of the St. Petersburg Hermitage Museum, Mikhail Piotrowski, claims that archaeological treasures should be kept only in the region where they were found. These unique items from the Scythian gold collection were found on the territory of the peninsula and are part of the cultural heritage of this region. Artifacts from Crimean museums should be kept in Crimean museums. This is fair because they were found in this land. If this is honestly what they believe, perhaps Russia will therefore return to Ukraine all the treasures taken from Ukrainian museums during Tsarist and Soviet times, including those placed in that very same Hermitage. But of course, it will not. By the way, the most valuable artifacts that are being dug up in Crimea now, during the occupation period, are taken to the museums of Moscow and St. Petersburg, ignoring the principles so righteously declared. This is precisely what the word hypocrisy defines. A London court confirmed the legality of and the rationale behind the fine imposed on the Russian propaganda television network RT. We're talking about sanctions for old sins. 2 years ago, the British regulator fined the Little Liars £200,000 for violating the basic principles of journalism in stories about Ukraine and the Skripal poisoning. RT, like true propagandists, pretty much spat in the face of the Skripals and, for all practical purposes, blatantly parroted the line of the Russian authorities. For this, they were punished. But instead of apologizing for the violations and making amends, they doubled down on their lies and took disgusting revenge. They put a spoke in the wheel of British journalists working in Russia. Top propagandist Olga Skabeyeva, as usual, continues her mudslinging ways. She's the host of the daily talk show 60 Minutes on the channel Russia 1, with the well-earned moniker of the Iron Doll of Putin's TV. Against the backdrop of Russian escalation in the Donbass, she, lying shamelessly, claimed the Ukrainian armed forces violated the Minsk agreements by deploying tanks along the line of separation. A tank on the line of separation, a Ukrainian tank. This is Staromykhailivka, in direct violation of the Minsk agreements. Well, we checked. The video shown has nothing to do with Staromykhailivka, which is controlled by the DNR, the so-called Donetsk People's Republic, or with Staromarievka, a town located in the so-called gray zone that the DNR has falsely accused the Ukrainian armed forces of capturing. Judging by the appearance, the coloring, the turret machine guns that, in travel mode, point to the rear, the tanks shown in the video are T-72s belonging to the DNR. Social media users also confirmed that the video was recorded in the settlement of Telmanovo. The new name is Boykivske, that is controlled by Russian hybrid troops. On October 26, other local residents also observed the movement of tanks belonging to the DNR along the streets of this village and shared this information on social networks. The Ukrainian segment of social media is rife with fraudulent posts claiming that Ukrainians will receive financial assistance in connection with the expansion of the red quarantine zone, in the amount of 16,500 hryvnias, equal to about $635 and up. The posts contain a short video, supposedly with the logo of the Ukraine 24 channel, that urges viewers to follow a link to some very suspicious sites. We checked. The government of Ukraine issued no orders for such monetary payments. The owner of the channel, the radio and TV company Ukraina, whose logo the liars hide behind, stated that it knows nothing about this claim. Be careful. These scammers are trying to deceive you. That is all the time we have in today's edition. Find more news and analysis on our website, StopFake.org. Your host was George Sajewych. See you in exactly 1 week. Goodbye.